City. We're going to appeal to the NBA to honor him, to put him in the Hall of Fame, give him his due recognition. Ladies and gentlemen, Sweetwater Clifton. Sweetwater Clifton.
I don't know if you can hear Jesse Jackson. Sweetwater Clifton went to DuSable High School on the south side of Chicago. First black player in the NBA. And what that led to, everybody knows, the great stars who are playing today. He is a cab driver in Chicago today. It's really a moving moment to see him in the center of the floor with these young men who take for granted, Charlie Chris, if in fact here he is playing in a game with the New York Knicks, who take for granted if they're talented enough they can play. That was not the case with Sweetwater Clifton.
No, it wasn't. It was very hard for him in those days breaking into the NBA to play.
Number 8, Sweetwater Clifton, who's in the center of the floor right now talking to Jesse Jackson and the great players as you watch him with the New York Knicks. We were talking earlier about the NBA in these days and the difference. Just such a totally different game. There he is, Sweetwater Clifton, a Chicago resident, a graduate of DuSable High School here in Chicago with Jesse Jackson and John Thompson. And as Jesse Jackson said, the PUSH program appealing to the NBA for some honors, specific honors for Sweetwater Clifton because of the ground that he broke for black players in the National Basketball Association. He must be enjoying himself here tonight watching this.
Oh, yes, he is.
This great performance. So Cliff Levingston led the rookies team with 22 points, and I might mention again that Levingston and Michael Jordan and Wes Matthews are playing on the rookies team, even though obviously they are not rookies, and they did that to match up the talent here so they have the right size and the right guards and forwards to match up these two basketball teams. And there are the halftime statistics. The rookies' field goal percentage was far less than 47.8% in the first quarter, but it picked up late in the first quarter and midway through the second quarter. And we have a relatively close game, 11-point veterans lead. As Isaiah Thomas comes down and opens scoring to make it a 13-point lead right off the top. And we're underway with the second half from Chicago Stadium. This is Bob Neal with Charlie Chris. Uwe Blab with the rebound, missing the tip back, still gets it in the paint. It's stripped away by Mark Aguirre. Johnson to Dominique Wilkins. 20 points for Dominique. Behind the back pass from Michael Jordan. Levingston can't get it to fall. Here comes Dominique. Has Isaiah Thomas across the court. Tried to pass it back and it was tipped away by Winters to Blab. And then lost again. Here comes Dominique. Oh. The NBA slam dunk champion, we might mention. And he has 22 in this game. Air Jordan takes off from about 14 feet. That's Herb Williams.
That's why Isaiah led the league in assists and broke an assist record last year.
And we have a foul underneath. And it's on Magic Johnson. Cliff Levingston will go to the free throw line for the rookies team from Chicago Stadium. NBA Push Excel All-Star Basketball game. Hope you're enjoying this offensive display tonight. As John Thompson said, I asked him, he and I telecast the NBA draft earlier this year from New York, and I asked him what he thought today about the crop of rookies after he's had a chance to think about the youngsters coming in. And he had an interesting line, Charlie. He says he sees a changing of the guard in the NBA, a changing of some of the old starting to fade and a whole new crop coming in. And I think that's really true. And this group is going to be a real good one this year, the NBA rookies. That's Boise Winters from Bradley University in the 76ers. Wes Matthews with the ball to Jordan. Can't get it to Paul. Magic Johnson with the rebound. Number 34 is Boise Winters from Bradley. Whoa! What a pass!
That's an easy way to get an assist. Lob it to Dominique.
Here's Winters. And the rookies can't hit the perimeter shots in this game. That's been the biggest difference in the scoring. It's 98-81, veterans leading. Isaiah Thomas for three. Won't go. Winters rebounds to Michael Jordan. Wes Matthews from 20. No. Perimeter shots just won't fall for the rookies. Thomas with a bounce pass to Mark Aguirre. That would have been a beauty.
And Mark's looking at it and saying, who do you think I am, Dominique? I'm not Dominique. Did you expect me to go get that?
This is Mark Aguirre. You've got our numbers confused, Isaiah. Jordan has it stripped away. Let's see if Mark can dunk it. No, he's going to give it to Isaiah, who can't dunk it. And Aguirre with a 1957-style layup. Now here comes Dominique, 1-on-2. Slides and scores. And the veterans are just blowing the rookies away at the moment. 102-81. John Thompson, who's coaching this game for fun like everybody's playing, however, is a little bit serious about this. He's going to talk to the youngsters while Paul Ryden talks to Sweetwater Clifton.
Thanks, Bob. With Sweetwater Clifton now honored just a few moments ago, the first black to actually sign an NBA contract. That was quite a while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, 1949.
1949. Was it tough breaking in those days for a guy like that?
Well, for myself, I was pretty fortunate. I had the pleasure of playing with the Globetrotters, and I was recognized all over the city, country and everything, and I had been playing all over in all these towns and everything, and everybody liked me, and I fit right in with the, group.
The NBA had not been used to seeing any black players. Of course, that's changed now. Was it tough for you in those days getting acceptance throughout? I know they'd seen you with the Globetrotters. Did it make any difference?
Well, it never made any difference to my teammates. They all were different nationalities, and I was being the first black. We all played, a different type of game there than they played, with the Globetrotters. And I fit in with them because after they showed me the pattern they wanted to play, I fit right in with the team. And I played with over probably 90 ball players. And I'm proud to say today that none of them ever disliked me, said anything in disgrace to me. And I respect them all today, and I know they do the same for me.
Well, I know these folks love you here. Speaking of a different brand of basketball, how about these kids playing out here today? Can you believe that?
Well, it's amazing. As a matter of fact, the players are much taller than they were in my days. I was considered a giant in my days, 6'6", and the biggest guy around in them days was George Mikan. He was 6'10 and a half, but he never could dunk like these kids can today. They really get up.
What would it have taken to win a championship? Maybe just one of these guys?
Well, I would like to have had Magic Johnson or Michael Jordan, either one of them two.
You're not too picky, I guess. Huh?
No, just one of those two. Either one of them, we would have won everything.
Well, Sweetwater, enjoy the game. These guys owe you a lot.
Well, I'm glad to be here, and it's my pleasure to talk to you.
Thanks, Sweetwater. Let's go back to you, Bob.
Thank you, Paul. The action continues hot and heavy here. Uwe Blab with the block. He also just scored his first field goal in the game to a rousing round of applause. Here comes Jordan. Winters can't get it to fall, and he's fouled. We have a 102-85 veterans lead over the rookies by 17. 8:03 to go in the third quarter. 8 points for Winters, who's going to the line. In that stretch right before Paul's interview with Sweetwater Clifton, the veterans had outscored the rookies 14-4 in this half. The rookies had only 2 field goals. Veterans were 8 out of 11, shooting 73%. I mean, they just came out blistering it.
But most of those, everything that they scored on that time was a layup. They ran the fast break. It was either a dunk or a layup, and that will help your percentage.
That's Boise Winters from Bradley University, property of the Philadelphia 76ers now, was the 44th player taken in the NBA draft this year. Dominique
and that's exactly why he was looking at Isaiah before. He said, I'm not Dominique.
Kenny Patterson loses it. Wilkins. 30 points for Dominique Wilkins. Dominique Wilkins has 12 points in this quarter. Michael Jordan gets a pick from Blob. Uwe gets the pick and roll and misses the jam. Jordan's giving Blob some lessons in basketball here tonight. Boise Winters gets it back in bounds, and Kenny Patterson with it. Back to Jordan from 17. No. Rebound Aguirre. Magic Johnson. It's going to be Rookies ball, and Tyrone Corbin is going to enter the game and replace Uwe Blob. It's 106-86, 20-point lead by the veterans. 6:58 to go, third quarter of play. Kenny Patterson and Michael Jordan playing guards positions now for the rookies. Here's Corbin. Tried to spin into the lane. Had it stripped away. Back to Boise Winters. He will put it up and scores.
I tell you what, Bob, it's nothing against race or anything, but it's hard for Uwe Bob, the only white player on either one of these teams, to get out there and play with all these guys. And you look around the stadium, it's very difficult. It's hard to really calm down and get over the nervousness.
Uwe Blob, by the way, is the first white player to play in this, the 4th annual Push Excel game, and I'm glad to see that happen. Perhaps more of the NBA White Stars will join in this game next year.
And I think they will.
Isaiah Thomas.
I think it just takes one guy to break that barrier, and I think this is probably it.
Kenny Patterson can't get it to fall, but he is fouled by Isaiah Thomas. That's Isaiah Thomas' 3rd foul in the game, but as we would like to mention to you, because of the entertainment value of this game, you are not going to see any of these players foul out, even if they commit 6 fouls. There's Kenny Patterson. Kenny Patterson from DePaul University set 9 different records while he was at DePaul. He's property of Indiana now, has 5 points in this game. And he set records in assists and steals. Last year had 215 assists for DePaul University. It's 108-89, veterans leading rookies. 6:27 to go, third quarter from Chicago Stadium. We'll be back in a moment as you watch Air Wilkins. There's Gene Sullivan, the Loyola University coach, who is the honorary coach of the veterans team here tonight. And he said he's having a good time just watching these guys play. This is not, interestingly enough, a lot of coaching that I have to do. I understand that. Magic Johnson fouled as he goes down the middle by Alfrederick Hughes, who was a player for Gene Sullivan at Loyola. Magic has 12 points, and 4 out of 5 from the line. I would like to hear Magic Johnson, as you see those yellow straps on his shoes, I'd like to hear him explain how those help his game.
Well, what it is the Laker colors. It goes with his uniform.
That's all there is to that.
Yeah, that's all.
Boise Winters scoring again, and he's starting to light it up a little bit for the rookies. 109-91 veterans. Isaiah Thomas to Magic Johnson. Mark Aguirre to Kevin, 7 feet tall Willis from the Atlanta Hawks.
Kevin's 7 feet tall, but he can get off the floor.
Kevin Willis is a thoroughbred athlete. You can tell by his movement, his speed up and down the court, and that was the word, as you mentioned earlier, Charlie, coming out of Michigan State about Kevin Willis, is that he could run the court, and the Hawks found that he could do that very well last year.
Oh, yes, he really can.
And there's Alfrederick Hughes hitting from about 18 feet. And let's join Paul Ryden now once again with Gene Sullivan.
Here on the veteran side, standing by with Dr. Charles Tucker, who's doing some coaching on the veteran side. Dr. Tucker, you guys got a 18-point lead right now. You're doing all right.
Yeah, I think that we're playing the game for charity, but the game is not charity. So we're going to play hard. And I think this amplifies what superstars should be about, working hard and trying to help other people that is not quite as fortunate as they are.
Now, you were able to get a lot of guys here. Suppose you tell us how you did that.
Well, most of the players here, the veteran I represent, all of them here, except maybe 2 or 3. And I always let my guys try to participate in activity like this to keep things going for the community and for just basic people for example.
Now, the Reverend Jackson was saying that it was very important to try and get these guys to come out. For any NBA players who are home watching on TV right now, what have you got to say to them?
I think it's a very rare opportunity that they have a chance to participate in a situation like this where they can help and bring back to the community what the community have given to them. And I think every NBA player should take the opportunity and participate in a situation like this.
I understand one of the players on your team, you saw him grow up, Irvin Magic Johnson. What did you think about him when he was just a little kid?
Well, I thought he was always going to be a man, and I didn't know he was going to be a super player, but I know he was going to be a great player.
Well, you've got a bunch of them here, and you're leading still 111-96. Let's go back to the game, and Bob Neal. Bob?
Kenny Patterson from the call scoring for the rookies, and we have a 111-98 game, and the rookies are starting a comeback here. Perhaps that's because of Paul Ryden's assist in talking to the veterans coach. Frederick Hughes. And it's 111-100. McGuire from Johnson. Willis missing the attempted jam out of bounds rookie ball.
I tell you what, the rookies, when they started the game, they were nervous. When they started the half, they were nervous. Now they're calming down again, and they're making a good game of it.
Down by 11. Michael Jordan with the ball for the rookies. Here's Frederick Hughes. Good. Local product from Loyola University. Now the property of San Antonio. 11 rookie points unanswered. Foul on Michael Jordan. So the rookies came back with 11 straight and now trail by 9, 111, 102, 4:08 to go third quarter. And Uwe Blab comes in as Michael Jordan will take a rest. They're not booing Blab, they're booing Jordan leaving the game.
Yeah, the referee made a foul call against Jordan, and the fans don't like it.
McGuire can't get it to fall. He's not had a hot hand this half. I told you at the beginning of the game, in case you folks tuned in late, when Michael Jordan entered Chicago Stadium as McGuire hits the back end of the free throws. It's 112-102. When Michael Jordan entered the arena in his street clothes, he got a round of applause. Willis out rebounding Uwe Blab. Magic Johnson with one of his patented passes to Doc Rivers, to Willis. Tyrone Gordon to Kenny Patterson to Frederick Hughes. Good. Hughes with 12. 8-point lead. Johnson back. A 10-point lead for the veterans.
Magic does his thing, like I said before, whenever he feels like it.
Cliff Levingston got the rebound and was saved on one of the better moves of the game by Magic Johnson. Levingston was about to hit the floor very hard, and Magic Johnson caught him.
Well, see, that's what it's all about. A guy like Magic, knowing the importance of a guy not getting hurt, he held Cliff so he would not get hurt.
Michael Jordan back into the game, and that's why they're on their feet here. Chicago has a love affair with Michael Jordan. Frederick Hughes won't fall. Tip is good.
Michael Jordan.
Isaiah Thomas answers for a two-pointer, I believe. He was just inside the three-point line. And there's a foul.
As this game goes on and gets down toward the fourth quarter, you're going to see a lot of excitement because neither one of these teams want to lose.
The competitive fire always burning in the athlete's heart. I don't care whether you're playing pickup basketball or not. And Charlie, Chris, I would bet when you just play for fun now, if you do play much for fun, the competitive edge is there to pick up.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's always there. I don't know if you really ever lose the competitive edge.
Uwe Blab gets the rebound over Kevin Willis. Hughes won't go. Gets his own board. Back up with it. Won't fall, but he's fouled by Willis. Frederick Hughes playing like a man possessed tonight.
Yes, indeed. He's playing very well. And that shows exactly what he's made of also. I mean, he comes in a game like this. He takes a shot over Kevin Willis, and he's following his shot, getting the offensive rebound, getting Kevin off his feet, and getting fouled. That shows it's a lot of hustle and intensity on the part of Frederick Hughes.
We have a timeout on the floor. 8-point veterans lead now. John Thompson talking to the rookies. 2:54 to go, third quarter of play. Bob Neal and Charlie Chris with you from Chicago Stadium. The Push Excel 4th Annual Pro Basketball Classic. Chicago Stadium, where the veterans of the NBA lead the rookies 116 to 108. And I've mentioned once again that all of the rookie players are not pure rookies. Some of they've balanced the team a little bit by adding Cliff Levingston to that team and balancing it a little bit with Michael Jordan as an understatement, and also Wes Matthews. But this is a pure rookie here. Alfrederick Hughes from Loyola University in Chicago, property of San Antonio. Now he was the 14th player picked overall in the draft in the first round by San Antonio, averaged 24.3 while at Loyola University, has 13 points in this game tonight. He was questioned by some writers, particularly in the NBA draft, by one Boston writer who said that he thought San Antonio was crazy for drafting Hughes. But Hughes is an impressive player here so far tonight. Mark Aguirre. With his quiet, not fancy rebounds, Aguirre is a definite force in the NBA, and I guess anybody who watches regularly knows that. He has 13 rebounds tonight, as an example. Nice play by Hughes. Wes Matthews in the paint to Cliff Levingston. He's fouled by Magic Johnson.
Tell you what, Alfrederick Hughes is going to help San Antonio two ways. He can play a small forward, and he's a tough enough kid inside that he can get some rebounds and be physical inside. And he can also play some big guard and post up some of the smaller guards to make it difficult for those guards defensively. So he's going to help them.
Cliff with 24 points is 8 out of 11 from the line. 9 out of 12 now. 118-110, 8-point veteran lead. The rookies come back pretty strong in the last part of this quarter. Michael Jordan banks it. Misses. Blob misses the tip. Back comes Levingston. Oh, that ball has enough English on it to be a 9-iron shot. Magic Johnson. Yes. As the PA announcer said, from the world champion Los Angeles Lakers. What a team they put together out on the left coast. Into Blob, couldn't hold on to it. Willis strips it away. Here comes Magic Johnson. 120-110, veterans leading. Magic with the pass to Willis. And the jam.
Magic just makes everybody look good, no matter who it is.
We have a 12-point veterans lead. There's a timeout called by John Thompson, who will come back to try to get his rookies together. We're at Chicago Stadium for the 4th Annual Push Excel Pro Basketball Classic. 1:28 remaining here in the third quarter. Hope you're enjoying yourself. We certainly are. An offensive show being put on here tonight. 232 points have been scored already. We'll be right back. The rookies 122-110. We're very pleased to announce that Turner Network Television, TBS Sports, home of the 1986 Goodwill Games. World-class international athletic competition from Moscow. First time since 1976 that American and Soviet athletes will be competing in world-class events. That'll be next summer, July 5th through 20th. Cliff Levingston as the rookies come back. Chance to close it down some. Nice pass from Jordan to Wes Matthews. And a steal by Matthews, but then stolen right back by Magic Johnson.
He looked to his left, looked to his right, balling the ball each way, and then laid it up.
I'm glad you described that, Charlie. I didn't know the words for it. Hughes from 17. Isaiah Thomas has Mark Aguirre over on the left wing. Kevin Willis following him. Willis rebounds over Blob, blocked by Jordan. Goes around Uwe Blob, and they say, the official says that he stepped out of bounds, so it'll belong to the rookies. Basket does not count. 12-point veteran lead. Michael Jordan setting up his deliberate offense that they run in this game. He's setting up his North Carolina offense. Doc Rivers looked at Michael Jordan like, were you here? But Rivers comes back with a jam on a nice feed.
Take that one.
Jordan from 18. No, Wes Matthews tips it up. It won't fall. And there's a timeout on the floor as the third quarter comes to an end. And the veterans, in a wild and woolly affair from Chicago, lead the rookies 126 to 114. Chicago high school cheerleaders entertaining the commercial and quarter breaks and halftime breaks. Being a Chicago native, I'm trying to remember who the Pirateers are. I don't think we played them at the Marshall Commandos.
How long ago was that, Bob?
It was, this school probably wasn't in existence, Charlie. It's probably a new high school, something that's been built in the last 25 years. And thanks for asking.
I had to get that one in.
Pull the dagger from my back. 126-114. 12-point Proviso East cheerleaders. You know why I don't know these young ladies?
Why?
They're from the suburbs.
Oh, excuse me.
We didn't recognize suburban high schools. They're from Proviso.
I know that to be a logical reason.
Out on the far west side. We're only 18 blocks west of downtown Chicago at Chicago Stadium on Madison Street. And now let's go to Paul Ryden, who's going to be talking to John Thompson over on the rookie bench. Paul?
I'm with John Thompson, whose rookie team is trailing now 126 to 114. 12-point difference. Coach, how different is coaching these guys and coaching college? Granted, these guys played college last year, but is there any difference?
Well, it's basically the same. You haven't had a chance to practice with everybody. Coaching is implementation of direction. There's been no direction given. We're having fun trying to keep it close and letting the people enjoy what's going on here today. But you can't coach people if you haven't given them direction.
So I would assume that you don't have all that much control over these guys.
Well, you've got control because they're listening. You know, these guys are very nice people. They're just the same as college kids in their own way. They respect the game that they play. They make their living at them. But it's not fair to them either because they haven't practiced with one another. We're just having fun, and they're trying to win, of course, but within the context of the circumstances.
Not nearly as much trouble with pressure, I should say.
No, not really. I don't think this is for pressure. Just to have some fun and for a worthy cause, Operation Push.
Even with this small exposure now, any chance that John Thompson will ever go pro?
Well, I don't know about that. I'm gone pro already. I'm in here for it.
John, thanks a lot, and good luck now. You got one more quarter. Let's do it.
Thank you. Now, I thought you didn't realize that. The game is going on.
Let's go back to Bob.
Thank you, Paul Wright. John Thompson, head coach, Georgetown University, obviously one of the great college coaches. Dominique Wilkins back in the game for the veterans and immediately makes his presence felt. It's 131-16.
And you see, he tells Paul he didn't think he knew the game was going on over there talking to him on the side.
John wasn't too interested in talking even in this game. He was watching his players. Implementation of direction. I like it. Now, Frederick Hughes can't get him to fall from out there. Here's Kenny Patterson from DePaul University. He can't get it to go down either. It's tough inside. Big Herb Williams is in there. Isaiah Thomas back to the veterans quickly. 10:47 remaining in this ball game. Isaiah Thomas now with 16 points. 16 points difference in the score also. Here's Kenny Patterson from the baseline. Gets the ball.
That's a tough shot.
Patterson's proper to the Indiana Pacers now. Kevin Willis on the baseline against Blob. And gets it to go. Blob fouls him on the shot. Uwe Blob, and I will question this. Uwe Blob may be a step slow for the league. We'll see, of course, but he doesn't get off the floor in terms of timing quickly enough, in my view. Charlie, what's your thought of that?
He really doesn't. He is a step slow. But like I said before, in Dick Motta's scheme of things, he'll be perfect for that team. And there's nobody in the league, any team that just plays one-on-one defense. You have to have help from the whole team, because you cannot play a guy one-on-one and think you're going to stop him. If you don't get help from somebody else, you're going to be in trouble.
Corbin loses it. Now Kenny Patterson, teammates at the call. Patterson can't get it to go down. Back to Tyrone Corbin, partially blocked, and a foul on Dominique Wilkins. So Tyrone Corbin will go to the line. 137-118. 20,000 here at Chicago Stadium. There's Herb Williams and Dominique Wilkins. Tyrone Corbin, number 22. Cliff Livingston, 53, playing for the rookies tonight. Tyrone Corbin led DePaul in scoring and rebounding in last season with San Antonio now. Tyrone Corbin was a second-round pick. Most folks got a chance to see Tyrone Corbin with many television appearances last year. 17-point veteran lead. Isaiah Thomas in the paint. Good feed to Willis.
By Kevin Willis from Isaiah Thomas.
Kevin Willis has 21. Back to Dominique. Couldn't get it to go on the baseline. No foul. Still arguing on the call. Cliff Levingston to Tyrone Corbin. Oh my.
Teammate. Dominique looked at Cliff, and Cliff looked at Dominique. They started like, Dominique said, Cliff, you know better than that.
Kenny Patterson, Cliff Levingston, down inside the paint there. Couldn't get it to go down. Here is Corbin. 2 straight baskets by Corbin. 141-124 for veterans. Doc Rivers. Boise Winters. Patterson. Back to Winters. Misses the jam. It'll belong to the veterans. 9 minutes remaining in this basketball game from Chicago Stadium. Big Herb Williams out of Ohio State.
This is just a little bit over anxious, trying to get this dunk down. A little too strong.
Looks like he lost a little bit of the grip on the ball. Remember earlier in the game they were talking it's a new ball, a little bit slippery.
Yeah, and when any kind of water gets on the perspiration, it's going to slip out your hand.
Here's Herb Williams working against Winters. Nice touch. 143-124, 19-point game. Veterans leading, 8:36 remaining. Nice attempted pass to his teammate, Tyrone Corbin, from Kenny Patterson. And now, so we've been talking about Alfredrick Hughes all evening long, who's been playing very well for the rookie team. Let's go to Paul Ryden, and he'll talk to the Loyola University graduate. Here's Paul Ryden.
Sitting here with Alfredrick Hughes, headed for the San Antonio Spurs. This little fellow's not headed to the San Antonio Spurs. Who's this?
That's my little nephew right here. This is my sister baby, newborn baby.
Named after you, I understand.
Yeah.
How's he enjoying the game?
Oh, he's loving the game. He's not crying at all. He's tired. We got to give him some more excitement.
Hey, I bet you're a little tired out there. What's it like for a guy coming out of college to guard Dominique Wilkins?
Well, it feels great because Dominique is a great player. You just have to stick with him and believe in yourself as a ball player.
You learn anything tonight?
Yeah, I'm learning a lot tonight. I'm learning to get back on defense tonight.
That's a lesson a lot of guys have to learn. Let's go back to the game now and see how it's progressing. Bob Neal.
Thank you, Paul Ryden. Lovely youngster there with Alfredrick Hughes. And Kevin Willis just scored and was fouled as he made the basket. We'll get a 3-point opportunity here. Veterans lead 145-126. Chance to make it a 20-point game. But the veterans have led by 16, 18 points previously. And the rookies have come storming back, so we'll see.
I think that's one thing what Alfredrick Hughes said. You have to learn to get back on defense. That's for sure. Because if you don't get back on defense, you will sure be sitting on the bench because the coach will take you out.
Kevin Willis, 12 feet. Well, Hawks fans are going to like the look of this youngster tonight. About to enter his second season. He has 25 points for the veterans. He's rebounded well and has certainly gotten up and down the court. He knows how to get back on defense. Kenny Patterson driving in amongst the tall pine scores. 12 points for Patterson. Dominique tipped away by Levingston. Wes Matthews. Nice pass. But Tyrone Corbin couldn't control it.
I think the pass kind of surprised him.
Mark Aguirre back in for the veterans, and Willis takes a rest. Magic Johnson, who plays virtually the entire game. Aguirre fouled as he drives past Corbin.
You see the little things that the veteran does to get himself open. Now Mark Aguirre took his left arm and hooked it behind Tyrone Corbin's back so he couldn't cut him off. The referee doesn't see that a lot of times, and that's the difference. That's what these rookies have to learn coming into the league, is the little moves, little things that you do that the veteran does that will make him play a little bit better.
Here's Mark Aguirre, 27 points, 9 out of 13 from the line, make that 10 out of 14 for Mark Aguirre. Blob coming back into the basketball game along with Michael Jordan. Cliff Levingston going out. There'll be a big round of applause here as Kenny Patterson takes a rest and Jordan returns. A lot of sports activity in Chicago today. The Bears won today at Soldier Field. Cubs played at Wrigley Field. Blackhawks start training for hockey tomorrow right here at Chicago Stadium. And then 20,000 folks are right here tonight. Blob from 15. It's good. Uwe Blob has had a rough game tonight. We've talked about that. But remember, Uwe Blob played very successfully for Indiana University against the toughest college competition in the country. He can play, folks. There's Mark McGuire, speaking of somebody who can play. 149-130, veterans leading. Make it 151-130. Excuse me, Charlie.
That's all right. And you have some guys that just can't play in a wide-open game anyway. And because they're so used to playing in structured type of offenses, and that's Uwe's problem tonight.
Isaiah gets it around Blob. 153-132. Wes Matthews. Down low to Jordan. You saw it. I sure can't describe it. 29 points for Jordan. And back quickly comes Johnson.
He's so nonchalant. You know, like no big deal.
Here's a good matchup. Blocked by Herb Williams. Oh, my. McGuire trying to get it to Dominique Wilkins.
I tell you, he's not Isaiah throwing that pass. And Dominique just mistimed it a little bit. And just, I don't think it was up high enough.
21-point veteran lead with 6:06 remaining in this basketball game from Chicago Stadium. And by the way, we've talked about all the sports activity happening in Chicago today. Pro football all over the place today. And this Sunday, second Sunday of the NFL season. A lot of other sports news. And Nick Charles, Kevin Christopher will have that for you on TBS coming up right after our basketball game with the sports page. My second favorite sports program. My favorite one's anyone that I'm on.
Gee whiz, Bob.
Well, at least I admit it, Charlie.
Yeah, that's true.
From Chicago Stadium, you see Doc Rivers, property of the Atlanta Hawks, with the veterans basketball team being coached by Dr. Charles Tucker and also Gene Sullivan, who's the head coach of Loyola University here in Chicago. Coach Sullivan and I were talking about my Marshall High School alma mater state championship team from the late 50s. Had 5 players from that team going to college basketball, and George Wilson, who played 10 years in the pro, and Coach Sullivan was at Loyola Academy at the time. He remembered all of them, and M.C. Thompson's an Atlanta native now, the West End YMCA. There.
That's great, Bob.
I thought you'd want to know that, Jay. We have a 21-point veteran lead here with 6:06 remaining in this ball game, and Dominique Wilkins has certainly put on a show for everybody here, as has Michael Jordan and Boise Winters. Boise Winters out of Bradley University.
Ladies and gentlemen, by Sean Cox. He's 8 years old. He's wearing a gray sweater. He's been missing since the game started.
We have Michael Jordan and Wes Matthews in the backcourt for the rookies. Uwe Blob at center, and the forwards are Alfrederick Hughes and Boise Winters. And sneaking in the back door is Alfrederick Hughes.
I don't think the veterans were ready.
Isaiah Thomas missing from long range. Wes Matthews on the run. And on the fall, Isaiah back against Blob. Tips it off to Kevin Willis with the jam. I don't think the rookies are going to be able to pull this one out. I was starting to think they had time to come back, but the time is running down, and Wes Matthews goes down hard. The shot was blocked by Doc Rivers. Hope that young man's all right. I think he's okay. Yes.
170 pounds.
Dripping wet.
And even that's questionable.
Here it is.
But he stays with it. Oh, Mark had grabbed his arm. Even Mark came by the score to and said, he's light.
Yeah, we have seriously questioned Wes Matthews' weight here tonight. He's listed at 6'1" and 171 pounds. We're guessing maybe 145. It's his free throw.
Oh, well, maybe it's because they say he's 6'1", so they figure he should be 170 pounds.
And 20 points tonight for Wes Matthews, who, as Charlie mentioned earlier, is looking for work, free agent in the NBA.
And he can play. He's a good talent.
Isaiah Thomas against Wes Matthews. Let's watch this one-on-one matchup. Didn't fall, but Kevin Willis is there. I don't know, as you mentioned, I don't know who can stop the great NBA stars one-on-one. Nobody. Probably.
It takes 5 guys on one team to stop the good players. It really does. I mean, all these guys can play the game, and it's just a matter of them getting the opportunity to play. They're just too good for any one player to stop.
Tried to get it down low. Down low is a misnomer, that's for sure. I mean low in the paint. Up high, down low. The Boise Winners couldn't handle it. Thomas,
that's why they say, excuse me, Bob, that's why they say team defense.
Willis, by the way, you saw him miss a shot a minute ago from about 18 feet. That was his first miss in this quarter. He is 6 of 8 from the floor in this quarter. 159-140, veterans leading the rookies. 4:38 remaining in the basketball game. Kenny Patterson back in for the rookies team. Gives to Boise Winners. Hits from 17. And Boise Winners has been playing very well and scoring well in this half. He has 19. Product of Bradley University in Peoria, Illinois. Mark Aguirre down low out of DePaul. Takes it past Cliff Levingston. Here comes Air Jordan. Isolated by himself on the left side. Tried to get it off inside to Levingston. Tipped away by Herb Williams. Magic Johnson to Dominique. Too many people down in there. Mark Aguirre gets it loose and back up and in. Patterson. Fouled by Aguirre as he tried to drive the lane. 163-142 the veterans are leading here.
They're playing
21.
Defense. They're playing defense.
This could be the lowest scoring of the 4 Push Excel Pro Basketball Classics. A defensive matchup here tonight. There was a disagreement as to whether or not there was a foul to be called on that play. But obviously it has been called against Mark Aguirre, and Patterson goes to the line. Rolls it around and out. Kenny Patterson is in a tough size situation himself. He's out of DePaul University, drafted to the Indiana Pacers, and it'll be tough for him to make a pro squad. It's tough for anybody. I forgot the numbers, Charlie Chris, but as anybody knows, you out of New Mexico State and via the minor league basketball before you finally got into the pros, so many great players and so few positions.
That's right. That's very true. And nowadays, even for so-called point guards, as people would name them, you have to be able to score. There's no more such thing as a guard just dishing the ball off. You have to be able to put the ball in the basket.
Like that. Dominique
Wilkins. Not quite that spectacular.
Cliff Levingston from Jordan, blocked away, controlled by Johnson. Court length pass, intercepted by Patterson. Jordan! Thomas back quickly to Wilkins. Back at you. 40 points for Dominique Wilkins. Michael Jordan can't fall from the right baseline. Isaiah Thomas, 3-on-1. Dominique, 42.
And what, 12 dunks?
We may need to keep that stat in this game next year. Michael Jordan. Too much traffic. What a pass.
Too much
Cliff
traffic.
Levingston. It looked like too much traffic. And we have a timeout on the floor with only 2:11 remaining in this game. Veterans leading 169-146 over the rookies. Hope you've enjoyed this contest from Chicago Stadium tonight as much as we have and as much as this 20,000 capacity crowd has. As you look at Mark Aguirre and Herb Williams on the veteran squad. And we mention once again that these fellows donate their time to this cause, the Push Excel cause, these highly paid professional athletes. And they've been playing in several of these games, not just the Push Excel game, but playing on the West Coast, playing in New York and Washington, D.C. and here.
You don't find very many guys that'll play in games like this over the summer. They just don't feel that it's necessary. But what they don't realize is not a matter of whether it's necessary. They are giving something back to the community. I mean, the young kids that come out and see these guys play, it's a fans type of entertainment.
There's Gene Sullivan, head coach at Loyola University, who is the honorary coach of the veterans team tonight. You were looking at John Thompson down at the other end. John Thompson had his players wave at the camera. You see how much coaching Gene did. He was listening to the players decide who was going to go back in the game. But Gene Sullivan, one of the class men in college basketball, he was an assistant basketball coach at Notre Dame when Austin Carr was a great star there. He used to coach at Loyola Academy in Chicago. And, of course, his Loyola Ramblers from here in Chicago had an exceptional year last year. He lost a lot of those players, though, and is in a rebuilding situation. That was Michael Jordan with the basket. Jordan has 33. Thomas with 153 around Patterson.
That's a good example of one guy trying to guard one.
Michael Jordan missing the dunk. It is definitely showtime now. Patterson thought Alfrederick Hughes was going to go, but Levingston was there. 21-point veteran lead. No doubt about the outcome of the game. There is a doubt about some of the performances we'll see, like that. As we have just showtime for the next minute and a half. As though the rest of the game hasn't been. Levingston back.
It's on a scale from 1 to 10 now on the dunks. And that's ball control. That is ball control.
And Kenny Patterson over and back. It'll go back over to the veterans. Thomas wanted to pass down low, but couldn't get it to go. 58 seconds to go in the game. 173-152. 21-point veteran lead. Now Thomas with it again, and Patterson's all over him. Walks him out of bounds.
Kenny said, that's enough.
That's enough. I've had enough. No, he hasn't. One more time. Between the legs, down the lane, Thomas. 22 points for Isaac.
What do you say, Harlem Globetrotters?
And Patterson comes back. Alfrederick Hughes from three-point range. Dominique against Hughes and out of bounds. .31 seconds remaining. 20-point game. This could be good. Let's watch this one. Clock down to 22 seconds. Kenny Patterson from DePaul. Can't get it to go down. And here comes Thomas. 14 seconds. And that's going to be the last hoop of the game. 177, 155. The veterans defeating the rookies. From Chicago Stadium. Hold it. There is 5 seconds left. Michael Jordan at the other end. The clock is stopped with 5 seconds left. And Jordan's just going to take it down the other way. We hope you've had a good time tonight. Entertaining basketball game from Chicago Stadium, a 22-point veterans lead. The most important winner here tonight was the Push Excel program, on behalf of Jesse Jackson, and you see how much they love Michael Jordan here. Trying to get the autographs as he heads to the dressing room at Chicago Stadium. The 4th annual Push Excel Pro Basketball Classic is history. 177-155. The NBA All-Stars, the winners tonight.